Hi, welcome back to my channel. The camera looks a little crooked, hold on. Both very excited and also really scared to start today's reading vlog. Obviously, you already know what it is because it's the title of the video. Recently, Jessa Hastings, one of my favorite authors, actually, let me rephrase that. The author of one of my favorite series just released a new book, and that is The Conditions of Will. Don't quote me on this. I don't know if this is going to be a series or if it's just a standalone book. I'm both very excited and very scared because on one hand, I love Jessa Hastings' Magnolia Park series, as you guys may already know. I have so many versions, as you can see up there, and then I also have like special editions right there. Love, love, love that series. Never, on the other hand, I started out liking, but I ended up not enjoying it whatsoever. It was just very toxic and very repetitive. So right now I'm 50-50, and this one I only know some of the plot. I just know that she is someone that is really good at telling how people are feeling through their body language. All I really know is something ends up happening. She has to go back home and her family is incredibly toxic and unsupportive and very narcissistic, and she's trying to figure out a mystery of some sort. So this is Jessa's first kind of contemporary romance with a subplot of mystery, or maybe it's flipped. All I know is that there is going to be some type of not even love triangle, but some type of romance in there that's a little bit messy. It's gotta be messy, and I love Jessa's messy. We're in a different location for this reading vlog because I'm currently on vacation and visiting friends and family, so we're in an Airbnb right now. That's why it looks a little different. The heater is running, so you're gonna hear a slight noise in the background, and that's why. We're all getting ready to go out for the day, but I wanted to give you guys an update because I don't think I've talked to you guys about this book, and we just started the video. So I'm currently on page 137, chapter 18, and I went into this book completely blind. I did not really know what it was about. I just had an idea. I don't know where I saw it before, but I think I briefly read a summary or a synopsis. I'm gonna tell you guys what I thought it was gonna be, and then I'm gonna read you the actual synopsis, and we're gonna see if it's actually correct. So I thought it was about this girl named Georgia who is really good at reading people's body language and tells if they are lying or what they're hiding and all that. So just a people reader, right? And someone in her family passes away and she's trying to figure out who murdered them because the death wasn't natural. That's what I thought it was going to be about, and there was going to be a subplot of romance where her gay brother's AA sponsor is there and the brother has a crush on his sponsor, but then Georgia also starts a relationship with this sponsor, and the sponsor is straight. So it's very messy family relationships, and that's all I really thought. It starts with, I can't remember the last time I couldn't get a handle on myself and my emotions, but the lid is slipping. Something about the slipping lid feels like it's Sam Penny's fault, like he broke the seal and he's slowly opening me up. London-based Georgia Carter, professional lie detector and body language savant, has long been estranged from her infuriating, closed-minded, wealthy South Carolina family after a falling out years ago. The chasm runs deep between the black sheep, Georgia and her gay alcoholic brother, and their parents and elder siblings. But when their father dies suddenly, Georgia returns to the States for the funeral, where she comes face to face with Sam Penny, her brother's AA sponsor. Amid the tensions, dramas, and revelations of the family reunion, Georgia and Sam are instantly drawn to each other. However, Georgia's brother also harbors feelings for Sam, and the last thing Georgia wants to do is hurt the only family she's ever really had. When their father's will reveals a surprising bequest to a mysterious stranger, Georgia's ability to read people becomes a crucial in unraveling her father's hidden past. The delicate balance within the family teeters the secrets, and both old and new threatens to push them beyond the breaking point. There are only so many cracks a damaged family can take before it shatters. Okay, so it's not about the father's death. Am I enjoying this book so far? Yeah. Oh, Janelle's coming down the stairs. I have seen the little hints, like I was saying, but the family is so messy. Am I enjoying it? I think I'm enjoying how messy and dramatic everything is. What I'm not enjoying is the some of the character reactions and personalities. Sometimes I get really annoyed at Georgia or other family members because I'm like, you guys are being way too dramatic, or way too much, you know? Like, there was one time something happened and someone said something that was obviously a joke, and it wasn't, I don't know, like in my head I would have automatically thought it was a joke, but someone reacted in a way like, yo, relax, like it's not that big of a deal. There are points that are really annoying, but I think that's just Jessa's writing. Not that Jessa's annoying, but her characters are just kind of overly sensitive sometimes, I guess, in my opinion. I can see how her characters all kind of feel the same between her series. Like Magnolia Parks, Never, and now this, some of her characters are very repetitive and they feel like the same people. So right now I am enjoying it and I'm excited to see how this plays out, but I do have annoyances with the book. But we're gonna head out soon, so I will update you guys again once I read a little bit more. It's not even a happy moment. You know the theory that I told you that was correct, like her past? She's voicing it now in front of everyone, in front of the family. Not everyone, the mom's not there, but I'm like so anxious because now everyone's about to know. I'm really hoping that her sister doesn't convince everyone that she's lying, because she is the black sheep of the family. They might all turn on her and be like, oh, whatever, you're just crying wolf, basically. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ugh, I feel like throwing up. This is like such intense confrontation and I feel like throwing up. I don't remember if I told them, but I told Janelle that I had a theory about Georgia's past that created her reputation, but it's a complete misunderstanding. And it's so much worse than it actually was. And now she's about to expose people. I feel like I look exhausted. I think I can see my eye bags through the viewfinder. That's how bad it looks. On camera, at least. I've been traveling a lot. Last week I was in Cincinnati for a graduation, and now I'm in Florida to visit my family. It's been a long week so far, and it's gonna continue to be long until another week and a half. So I have been reading, and I'm currently on page 231, chapter 32. I am really enjoying this. This feels more like Magnolia Parks universe. It's not the mystery that I expected it to be. I think in my mind I was just thinking that it was going to be some sort of murder mystery. I will say the synopsis brings up a plot point that we still haven't seen, even though I'm halfway through the book, and I'm questioning why it was kind of written in the synopsis if it wasn't really the whole point of the story. This is another one of those character studies where you follow Georgia around and you learn about her life, you learn about her family, you go through her grievances and the people that she's met. Last night I actually got really excited because there was a slight mention cameo of a character from Magnolia Parks, and I was like, oh, wait, they're in the same world? And that just made me really giddy, so I'm really excited to continue on reading this. I do really like the pacing of it. It just feels like Magnolia. It's not as messy, but it's still kind of messy. I still can't tell if this is going to be a series or just a standalone. I think it's just a standalone. Overall though, I am really enjoying the book, so I'll count that as a win. I read a good bit last night, actually. I am on page 310, chapter 43. So I'm so close. Okay, I'm not that close to finishing, but I am more than halfway done. I wouldn't say I love the book, but I'm actually really, really enjoying it. I Googled it. It is a standalone, so you can read this by itself. You don't have to read anything else, but it is in the same universe as Magnolia Parks, because last night I didn't get the clip of me reading it, but there are crossovers of other characters from the Magnolia Parks universe. But that made me like all giddy because I love every single character from that series, so I was really happy when they mentioned them. One really important thing that I keep forgetting to talk to you guys about is, I don't know why I'm being so picky about it because it's not that big of a deal, but every time this happens, it really takes me out of the story because it's not like a cringe or an ick, but it's just like one of those feelings that you get that you just can't put aside. I don't know why. Our main character and her family are based in the Carolinas. I don't remember which one. I think it's South Carolina. They're a Southern traditional family, super religious. Georgia obviously is not religious. Well, she is religious, but not the typical Southern toxic religious. There are some points, especially in their vocab, where I'm like, no Southern person is gonna say that. And it's only because the author is Australian. So she has like lingo and vocab that no Southern person would say. Like shagging. There's just like vocab. Like I think there was a scene where a character went, "How'd you reckon?" Like how do you even say shag in a Southern accent? I don't even know. Those moments where they have that kind of vocab or their sentence structures just does not make sense for a Southern family. It doesn't make sense, so it really takes me out of it, especially when they say shag, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know, that's the only big thing I keep forgetting to talk to you guys about, but that was the main thing. I do remember Jessa Hastings having an interview, and one of the questions they asked her was, who is your favorite character that you've ever written? And she said, you haven't met him yet. Now, granted, that was before Never came out, so it could be a character from Never, but I could see it being the character Sam Penny. Sam Penny. I love him. He is so sweet, and I think it's really nice to see a relationship written by Jessa that is not toxic in a way, and the family is toxic. It's not a Jessa Hastings book if it's not toxic, obviously. But I like that it's not the romantic relationship, but it's the family relationship instead. I feel like I didn't talk to you guys enough about plots. I won't go into detail because I feel like some people want it to be a secret and go into it blind. I will just say that there are things in this book that I would put trigger warnings for some people. So if you are someone that wants to know the trigger warnings for books, definitely check the description box. But I wanted to offer that because there are some topics in here that could be a little bit triggering for people. They don't go into super deep details, but just the way the characters have to grieve and grow and heal from these experiences and life choices that are still very, very much in their life. It can be a little bit hard to read. I feel like I didn't talk about the serious parts of this book. Yeah, it's toxic and it's funny and it's silly that the language doesn't match the location or the background of the family. Like, that's all silly and fun and games, but there are serious topics in here that I really think Jessa did, I don't want to say a beautiful job because there are topics that I do not have experience with and I don't know what it's like to have gone through something like that, so I don't want to say she did it beautifully, but I think she did it in a way that allowed people like me who haven't experienced some of these things to really feel sympathy and sympathize with these characters. So I think she did a really good job in that aspect. I also really like how she had her own twist on religion. So like I said earlier in my other update, Georgia's family is really religious and they're very traditional religious where they kind of weaponize the Bible. And I don't want to go too deep into it because everyone has their own beliefs and you are free to have your own beliefs, obviously. Me personally, Personally, I've never been super religious, but there have been moments in my life where I hear certain things from people who actively practice, and it just doesn't make sense why a God would say certain things and rebuke certain people just for not being straight or not being holy enough. I think is so unfair. I think Justice said it in such a beautiful way because she has characters in here that are gay or are not your typical traditional Christian, you know. I don't want to offend anyone and I don't want to say anything wrong. Reading this, I do agree on Jess's view of who or what God is. I think it is such a more beautiful and hopeful view. But anyways, yeah, those are like the more serious topics of this book that I found myself enjoying. Truly look like an egg with my hair up. I almost have 100 pages left in this book, and something's about to happen, and I think my theory is about to come true. Like, the messy family secrets, there's one big secret that I think is about to come true, and it's about to get so good. So good. I honestly don't know how she's going to wrap up this whole thing in the amount of pages that we have left, because there's so much that needs to be handled with one character and then also her and another character, and it's just, I don't know how Jessa's gonna wrap all of this up because this is just a standalone. How are we gonna finish this up, you know? So I'm nervous but also really excited to finally finish this book. I feel like the pacing and the amount of stuff in here was good for what it is, but I'm also kind of sad because then now it feels like I'm losing the Magnolia Parks universe all over again, even though this does not follow anyone from that series. I have finally finished The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, and whew, I don't even like know where to start or how to give you guys my final thoughts because there's just so much in this book that brought out so many different emotions, and I'm honestly not surprised because Jessa just is able to do that with her writing. I'm really happy to say that I really loved this book. With Never being one of the books that I did not like by Jessa, I was really hesitant and scared that maybe she would have just been a one series kind of author for me, but no. The synopsis was very much a very tiny part of what the book was meant to be, in my opinion, obviously. I don't know, she just did it again with writing very human characters that will definitely frustrate you and will definitely make you question, why am I even reading this book? Because these characters are really irritating. It's like watching your closest friends or like family members that irritate the fuck out of you, but you love them and you want to see it through. This is how I felt reading this book. I mean, at the very beginning, I was like, okay, well, I don't care about these characters, blah, blah, blah. But as I read on more and more, I started to realize, like, I am kind of invested in them. I want to know how their story ends. Her family is messy, to say the very least. That is a kind adjective to describe her family. They're incredibly toxic, and there's so many different secrets. But ultimately, I think the thing that I loved about this book the most is the fact that it felt so raw in how they process grief, how they process familial relationships and traumas. I remember the last update I gave you guys, I was saying like, oh, I don't really know how this is gonna end. I don't know how this is gonna play out because we only have like about 100 pages left, and there's so much to handle and wrap up before the end of the book. And I would like to say that I think Jessa did a really good job with wrapping it up. It is not a concrete wrap up of this, and that. It is very open-ended, and I think that is, again, supporting the very raw human experience. Things are never going to be fully closed off like that, especially when it comes to relationships with people. So I really like how Jessa did her best to close it off, but not close it enough to not have your own imagination of how things are going to go on with these characters. But I really liked the way she did it. I think there was a lot of closure, and there were so many times that I actually teared up and almost cried, but I didn't cry. And I don't want to keep comparing it to Magnolia Parks because it's not a part of that series, and I don't want to compare it to another series that she wrote. I'm gonna stop that. I just want to say that if you really enjoyed Magnolia Parks, I do highly recommend you pick this up, because it's just, the writing and the feelings are the same, but you just have such different characters and different traumas and relationships going on in this book that I really enjoyed. And I think I'm gonna give this book a 4.25. I'm really sad that it's a standalone, to be honest, because I would love to see some of these characters again and how they do in the future. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I know it was a little bit chaotic and not too structured because I've been traveling while reading this book, but nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.